In all my years of covering sports, not just boxing, any sport, I have never seen anything like this. This has become a relentless, almost daily attack of Freddie Roach and sometimes Pacquiao on Floyd Mayweather Jr. and his father and his uncle and his crew. These quotes went on, and sometimes they're funny quotes, and sometimes they're dead serious quotes. Sometimes they're second level quotes, and some of these got second level. Mm-hmm. But some of the quotes that I'll get in these releases I get, they'll be like lame joke quotes, because Floyd's been swimming to stay in shape. Have you read that? Or I don't know if you've heard that from Floyd, but. So
good idea on this one.
So Freddie Roach, just to preserve your joints and all, so it's a great way to keep your cardio up. Mm-hmm. But Freddie Roach has been calling him Flipper off the old TV show. I don't know, this is way before your time.
I remember
before your time. Flipper. Okay, so he's nicknamed Floyd Flipper. Flipper's doing this, and a lot of swimming jokes. But then this was a salvo yesterday. What is going on here to me is that Freddie Roach and Manny Pacquiao want Floyd to know they have zero fear of him, and that they are coming for him unlike any opponent has ever come for him in his career, amateur or pro. They want him to know that they are going to attack, and that clearly they are attempting to goad him into attacking back, to engaging with them, which is a pretty transparent strategy to me that probably will not work. But maybe they're playing spy versus spy. Maybe they're trying to talk him into not attacking. Maybe who knows what's going on. But they're playing psychological warfare with a guy who often wins that game against his opponent. So now you're reaching out. Okay, the whole thing about he was late. He was very late for that. I was watching or trying to keep up with it, and I kept waiting and waiting. I'd flip off to something. I'd do this. I'd go, I'd do this. I'd watch the game for a while, and I'd look back, and he still wasn't there. I think he was 3.5 hours later than he was supposed to arrive at his gym in Las Vegas.
They said 2.
2. I was watching my watch, and from what the initial arrival time, I think it was 3. Yeah, the original one that they put out in the press release, I think he was 3.5 hours, but whatever, maybe it's 2 hours. Even 2 hours, there were a lot of guys standing around just making conversation on my just babbling, just trying to fill dead air, as Freddie Roach says. So that's number one, and obviously that wasn't classy. But is it classy for the opposing trainer to point that out? Probably not. But again, it's relentless attack. And then the first part of that quote I wanted to read, you read the rest of the body of the quote. But Freddie Roach is saying a lot of things that I've been saying on this show for months. But I'm one thing, Freddie Roach is his trainer. And Freddie said yesterday, Floyd did not want this fight, which I've been saying to you for months. He can pretend it was his strategy to build up the fight's value, but that is not true. That's a strong accusation. It's what I've been saying. They're saying Floyd has been afraid of Manny Pacquiao for 5 long years. So they're voicing what I'm voicing. I'm just some guy sitting here with Stephen A. Smith debating about this. That's my opinion. That's my view. It's an informed view, because I've spent a lot of time talking to Freddie Roach and others in the camp. But they are expressing it on a daily basis publicly in a way I've never seen any opponent or opponent's trainer or coach express before a big clash. This is a huge fight. This is how good is this fight? Is it the best thing since
last quarter century?
Yeah, last quarter century. So this strategy is shocking to me, but I must admit, I'm good with it. I like it. I'm not saying it's the classiest strategy, but I think they are working on Floyd Mayweather Jr.'s mind, and I believe they are succeeding.
If they were working on Floyd Mayweather Jr.'s mind and that was their purpose, Skip, I don't have a problem with it. We're not going to go the classy route, because it's very little class usually in boxing. Because you're going after an appointment and you think that you think that you got a psychological or can gain a psychological advantage on somebody, you're going to do that. I think the thing that really bothers me is that Freddie Roach, it's a lot of low blows that he's throwing.
A lot.
Floyd, I have no problem with anything that he's doing as it pertains to boxing. It's the other stuff that, he's trying to literally, there are people who obviously despise Floyd Mayweather Jr. And we know the reasons why, the reports, the things that have been said, the way he flosses in terms of his wealth, his riches, his fame, etc., etc. We get all of that. But at the same time, a guy like Freddie Roach, it's a double whammy for me, and it's almost unfair, and here's why. Well, if you're Manny Pacquiao, you're bringing up the spiritual aspect and what have you. Well, how are you supposed to come back from that? If you're Freddie Roach, he's suffering from Parkinson's. How are you supposed to come back at him? So it's almost like you're talking about a fight, but you're not giving a fair fight in this realm. Because on one hand, you know, they come at Floyd in such a way where if Floyd came back at them, it's like attacking God himself. So he's not going to do that. And then you got Freddie Roach, and he's got Parkinson's, and you know, you got some people that might want to slap him upside his head. Not advocating that, of course, but that's how they feel. But you can't do that either because he's suffering from Parkinson's. So whatever way you slice it, these blows that he continues to be throwing about Floyd that veer away from the sport of boxing, talking about the kind of person he is, talking about what he's in the news for, talking about who he is. Well, I've had people talk to me about what kind of guy Manny Pacquiao is. I like Manny Pacquiao, but you love Manny Pacquiao. But there are people that talk about him outside of the ring and how there were things that were questionable about him. I've never once heard...
Now or in the past?
Well, again, they're saying that in the past is what led to now. You see what I'm saying? So what I'm saying to you is that, but Floyd never brings it up. Never brings it up. Never talks about it. I've heard from other people say that. You go to Floyd with that? No, man. I ain't going there. That's his business. I'm going to get him in the ring. That's the whole point. All I'm trying to say to you is that it gets to a point in time where the disdain and the hatred for Floyd Mayweather is so extreme that it gives the impression that anything goes. And I'm saying that's not right. I sit there, Floyd Mayweather, there's no excuse to be showing up 2-3 hours late. Man, show some damn class. And you know, I'm rooting for him to win this fight. I think he's going to do it. But damn it, show some class, show up on time. Or something close on time. Nobody's supporting him on that. Be professional, be classy when it comes to dealing with the very people that you're looking to assist you in marketing this fight. It's just a professional thing to do. He should have been there early. There's no question about that. We all know the other stuff that's been documented with him and what have you. We get all of that. My point is that there's also a Floyd Mayweather that is the best fighter pound for pound in the world, that has obtained more riches than any boxer in history, in a sport where there is no representation for the fighters. There's no Players Association, the Players Association, NBA, NFL, Major League Baseball. Boxers don't have that. You've had boxers go up on Capitol Hill begging legislators to give them assistance when it comes to the sport, so they're not at the mercy of the promoters. And by the way, you bring up his crew. Nobody has anything to say about Leonard Ellaby. Leonard Ellaby is a consummate professional. People who talk about him, talk about he's a hard-driving negotiator. Same thing with Al Heyman. But they are beating the system of boxing at its own game, and they're not cutting corners to do it. Legitimately, they've stepped up to the plate. They're informed, they're intellectual, they're studied and learned. They are handling their business, and they all happen to be black men doing it. I'm sorry. I'm going to be a guy that looks at Floyd Mayweather, that looks at Leonard Ellaby, that looks at Al Heyman and say, you know something? This kind of heat being aimed in their direction, you understand? Maybe you should be respecting. I'm not talking about you, Skip. I'm talking about the Freddie Roaches of the world and others, because they are doing what Freddie Roach and others couldn't do. They're calling their own shots. They are handling business, and they're making more money than these guys ever thought they could make or believe these guys deserve. They are doing it. Respect their game, because they have elevated it, and that's my point.
Okay, for the record, I've never said one word about Leonard Ellaby. I know. I get it. I get it. Because he's brilliant. They're brilliant. Everything you just said is dead on. They are beating the system here.
At their own game.
I thought it was unbeatable. Okay, back to this, though. You're not suggesting that the real good team here is Floyd's team.
I'm saying, well, first of all, I do believe the team is Floyd's team.
Like they're not getting enough credit, you're saying.
No, what I'm saying is that they're trying to change the narrative, and they're coming after him in a way where it's not fair because he can't come back from that. When Manny sits here and comes on First Take and talk about how God will deliver him into my... I mean, I couldn't even come back from that, and I'm not fighting him. What am I supposed to say to that, Skip? We're a debate show. If you're going to sit there and tell me God will deliver Mayweather into my...
You can argue with that.
But why does it need to be fair? Because according to you, he'll win. He can handle all this in the ring.
No. We're talking about the narrative leading up to the fight. I'm just saying it's not right. I'm not saying that that's going to impact this fight. I'm saying that it's not right because as we discuss this fight, how are we supposed to come back from that? If you bring up, if every other word is God or every other thing is about Floyd and his transgressions and stuff like that, as opposed to this fight and how you're scared of us, we gonna come at you. Oh, Floyd could come back from that. What is he supposed to do? What is Leonard Ellaby or Al Heyman supposed to do when every other narrative is either about Floyd's transgressions outside of the ring or how God will deliver him to me? What are we supposed to do with that?
Well,
Nobody's supposed to say that.
Certainly feel free to argue that God doesn't pick winners of fights.
Well, I'm saying to you, that's all I can say.
Okay,
that's all I can say.
But he's saying that's not good enough.
That's all I can say.
Right.
They're changing the narrative into something else. And I think that's wrong. I think that's lowball. I really do.
Okay, to your point about Manny's transgressions, clearly he was no angel before his spiritual conversion that I brought up many times, which was about 5 years ago.
Yeah.
Okay? Since then, by all accounts, and you never know about
That's
this.
not by all accounts.
Okay, well, by everyone I talk to, he's authentic now.
Well,
he's real.
There are people that I talk to that say that's not true. So
Even
we
now,
don't know.
even
now.
Okay.
So I don't know.
But we don't know. That's very clear.
And I don't care.
Yeah.
All I care about is the fight.
Is what you're trying to
That's
do.
all I care about.
Freddie
The
Roach
fight.
is clearly making
but
this
you're
personal.
saying those who live in glass houses shouldn't throw stones.
How about that? How about
Okay.
that?
What about that? That's a good debate.
How about that?
I think I read that somewhere.
You read it
No,
somewhere?
because if I had said that, Kerry, where would that? Because then I'm accusing him of something. I don't know if it's true or not.
No, I think that's a
that
good
would have been
point.
fair. That would have been unfair.
No, that's a good point, Stephen A. Okay, so personal and professional. Freddie Roach is doing a little bit of both here in this fight.
Final point.
Yeah, go ahead.
Senior has thrown some haymakers at their camp.
Yeah.
Remember, now Senior early on, he scoffed at Pacquiao for being miniature. Remember all those quotes about Manny's just too little to fight Floyd.
Yeah.
And then lately he said that I read the quote the other day. He hasn't looked at one tape of Manny Pacquiao because Manny is, to quote him, not on this level. Well, that's a shot. That's a boxing
But that's
shot.
boxing.
Yeah.
That's
Completely
boxing.
Yeah.
And don't think for one second that all of that animosity, a lot of it anyway, being aimed in Floyd's direction, is because he and his team have changed the game. They've elevated it. They don't like that man in that position calling shots.
All they want is for
Ladies and gents.
Floyd to be thinking about this on a daily basis.
Is it working?
Yes.
Okay.